हिजाब विवाद पर उस खबर से इस बुलेटिन की शुरुआत करूंगी। मैं आपको बता दें, कर्नाटक हाई कोर्ट का हिजाब विवाद पर बड़ा फैसला सामने आया है। कोर्ट की तरफ से कहा गया है कि हिजाब पहनना अनिवार्य नहीं है। इसके साथ ही कोर्ट ने हिजाब प्रतिबंध के खिलाफ दाखिल की गई सभी याचिका को खारिज भी कर दिया है। तो कोर्ट की तरफ से साफ कर दिया गया है कि चाहे स्कूल हो, कॉलेज हो, उस परिसर में जब आ रहे हैं तो वहां पर हिजाब नहीं पहना जाएगा। साथ ही साथ राज्य सरकार के आदेश को भी असंवैधानिक करार नहीं दिया है। कोर्ट ने कहा है कि स्कूल कॉलेज में जो यूनिफॉर्म बनाया गया है उसका अनुकरण करना चाहिए। तो ये बड़ा अपडेट आया हिजाब विवाद में। कर्नाटक में महीनों से हिजाब विवाद चल रहा था। इस पर मामला पूरा कोर्ट में पहुंचा था और कोर्ट की तरफ से आज बड़ा फैसला हिजाब विवाद मामले पर।
ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ। ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯೆಗಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ। ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ತ್ರಿಸದಸ್ಯ ಪೀಠ ಉಚ್ಚ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದ ಏನು ತೀರ್ಪು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನು ಪಾಲಿಸಬೇಕು।
First question was whether wearing of hijab forms part of Islamic faith, that is, whether it was an essential religious practice. Court has held, accepting the contention of the state, that it is not part of ERP. Secondly, it has held that whether insisting on institutional discipline, that is asking them to wear the uniform, amounts to violating the right guaranteed under Article 19, which is freedom of speech and expression. That also has been negatived, holding institutional discipline prevails over individual choice.
और सीधे जुड़ेंगे हमारी सहयोगी रेवती, इस वक्त हमारे साथ लाइव जुड़ रही हैं इस पूरे मामले पर ज्यादा अपडेट देने के लिए। रेवती, टेल अस मोर ऑन दिस बिग न्यूज।
Well, an important verdict that has come from the Karnataka High Court. All the arguments boil down to four questions. First and the foremost being whether hijab is an essential religious practice. And the court has upheld what the government has said, that it is not an essential religious practice. Now, a couple of important observations that the High Court has made while coming to this decision is, one, that the petitioner has failed to prove that it is an essential religious practice, and gone on to say that if you consider wearing a hijab an essential religious practice, it would automatically mean that those not wearing a hijab would be sinners, and that the Islam religion itself would lose its glory. So that cannot be the case, and that which is why it is just a matter of attire, and thereby it is not fundamental to Islam faith. These are the observations that the High Court has made. Secondly, it has also gone on to say that the prescription of uniform in educational institutions is reasonable and constitutionally permissible, which is why the students cannot object to it. So whatever uniforms are prescribed by the college, that needs to be followed by the students. Thirdly, the petitioners had challenged the government order of February 5th, saying that the CDC, or the College Development Committee, has the authority to prescribe uniforms. That has also been upheld by the Karnataka High Court, which means that the students will have to follow the uniform prescribed by the CDC in these colleges, and the court has not entertained their petition to take action against the respondents as well. That is including some of the management of these colleges. So all of these in this verdict essentially answering that big question of whether hijab is an essential religious practice, the court says no, which means that on the ground this translates to the status quo will be maintained. The government order that says that the CDC orders the uniform prescribed must be followed, as well as no religious dress or symbols should be allowed inside classrooms. All of that will continue on the ground unless the students or the petitioners go ahead with this legal fight to the apex court and they get a favorable verdict there. Until then, the status quo will be maintained. Now, as far as the students are concerned, there are several students who, in spite of an interim order on February 10th, went on to say that they will enter classrooms only wearing a hijab. They have boycotted classes, they have boycotted examinations as well so far. They are expected to continue that protest until they have a verdict that says they can wear hijab and enter classrooms. So as far as on-ground situation goes, the status quo remains. So the biggest priority for the government right now is to maintain the law and order situation and ensure that nothing untoward happens.